All right, folks, look, we have to talk about Donald Trump's insane social media posting spree that took place yesterday that is not getting enough attention. It included lies, panic over an upcoming election, threats to arrest Democrats, and more. The usual that you expect from Donald Trump, just times 10. It was insane. So look, we're going to read some of these posts. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. Before I do any of that, make sure to subscribe down below. It goes such an incredibly long way. I'm so thankful for the community that we are building here. Make sure to drop a like on the video as well. Comment. Let me know what you think about the story. And without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So we're going to start with this post that Donald Trump, I guess, posted technically today, but yesterday, if you kind of get what I mean. He posted it at 12:45 in the morning. So he was awake and angry, which is not exactly uncommon for Donald Trump. He kind of does this basically almost every night. But regardless, he said, quote, "There are laws that impact our nation." Read Title 18, Chapter 115, Section 2387. Quote, "Whoever with the intent to interfere, impair, influence the loyalty, morale, or discipline of the military and naval forces to be fined or imprisoned up to 10 years. Commander Kirk Lillipold, U.S. Navy, retired. This is right on point. Do what has to be done." Of course, Donald Trump is continuing his multi-week meltdown over these elected Democrats who came out and said, hey, to the military, don't follow illegal orders. And the ironic thing is that Donald Trump and his regime have been claiming that they've never issued any illegal orders and that Democrats should be sent to jail for using their First Amendment rights, when we just learned through the Washington Post and their exclusive reporting that Pete Hegseth gave an illegal order to strike a boat in the Caribbean, and when there were survivors clinging on to the wreckage, he ordered them to be struck again. A war crime under any law that you apply it to. And so Donald Trump is still upset about this. And I also can't take Donald Trump seriously ever when he talks about the law, given the fact that he is a convicted felon. And if he wasn't president right now, he would have faced many more charges, likely found guilty on many of them, if not all of them. So him just talking about the law is completely nuts. But he's continuing this crap, continuing to call for Democrats to be arrested. And just look at this wording down here. This is right on point. Do what has to be done. That's that kind of veiled threat that Donald Trump frequently employs to kind of evade accountability. He's just going to claim that, no, I'm not threatening Democrats. I'm just saying that, they have to be held accountable. Do what has to be done. But we know how the MAGA base is going to interpret it, at least. And Donald Trump, of course, knows that. Here's another one where he's grifting. I mean, he's grifting. He's trying to sell a book. We're not going to read this one, but he's saying that, this book written by Mark Siegel is a must buy, a bestseller, when Donald Trump doesn't read. Donald Trump hasn't picked up a book in his entire life, and he's hawking this book, grifting on social media, getting his base to buy it. It's just disgusting. Then he posted this article from Just News, and we're not going to read it because it is a right-wing outlet that is not even worth the read. And it says, Trump bump. Black Friday spending soars as 2025 posed to be the first $250 billion season. Donald Trump is trying to claim that the economy is good because so many people are spending money on Black Friday. But the reality is these corporations are just jacking up prices and inflation is making things more expensive, thus people spending more money. It's not exactly a sign of a strong economy, despite what Donald Trump is trying to claim here. But let's move on. He also reposted a post from Leo Terrell saying, Senator Kelly, he just cannot give this up. You owe Donald Trump an apology. And his video was 1 minute and 48 seconds. Who the hell wants to listen to this guy rant for 1 minute and 48 seconds about nothing? Who the hell wants to listen to that? I don't. I'm not going to put you guys through that. Then we move on to the conversation Donald Trump engaged in surrounding the ballroom. At 5:58 p.m. yesterday, he said the presidential ballroom, which I am building at the White House, with all private donations and funding, zero cost to the American taxpayer, which we know, by the way, is not true. That's just categorically false, that it's only being funded by private funding because there will be taxpayer dollars used for upkeep. For example, that's just one example of many of which taxpayer dollars are being used for, but regardless, will be at its completion the most beautiful and spectacular ballroom anywhere in the world. Well, if Donald Trump is touching it, it is likely not. It is something that has been needed and desired at the White House for over 150 years, but something which no other president was equipped to do, but I am, and as long as we are going to do it, we are going to do it right. It will be a magnificent addition to the White House, the most important building since the West Wing. Yeah, this is just so gross that there are so many issues facing the United States. Inflation is going up. People are being kicked off their health insurance. People can't eat. They're being removed off of SNAP assistance. And Donald Trump is still laser focused on the ballroom. Not focused on addressing any of these issues. He's focused on the ballroom, the billionaire ballroom, where they will be carving companies' names into it. You're going to have like Amazon and Apple and all these companies that have bent the knee to Donald Trump carved into the floor of the ballroom. I mean, if that doesn't prove to people that Trump cares more about the billionaires than he does about working people, which I think we've known for quite some time, but if that doesn't prove that, then I don't know what will. And just a note on the ballroom that I wanted to bring up, its proposal, at least the proposal we've seen so far, is going to be larger than the White House itself. It's going to be larger than the White House, which is stunning, the fact that Donald Trump is doing this. And this is the main focus of his administration, a ballroom. And then you can see the render here. This is what it's going to look like. And it's going to be tacky. It's going to have gold everywhere. And the next Democratic president, assuming that we have elections after Donald Trump, has to come in. And I'm not, suggesting they knock it down, but at least rip all the gold out, rip any mention of Donald Trump out. And I thought this theory from Christy Jackson was probably accurate. Quote, he's doing this for one reason, so he can turn around and gut the West Wing next and claim it's all proportional. I've said it from the start, watch what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen. But anyway, let's move on. Aside from him talking about the ballroom, this is where he starts panicking over this upcoming election, which you folks might have heard about recently. He said to the great people of Tennessee's 7th District, who gave me record-setting wins in each of these elections, I'm asking you to get out and vote for Matt Van Epps. He will be a great congressman, and unlike his opponent, he cherishes Christianity and country music. She hates them both. This is a very pivotal election. The whole world is watching. Make America great again. And then we're going to get back to that in just a moment. He then ranted about Biden, praised Babe Ruth for some reason, calling him the Babe. Maybe Babe Ruth is Bubba. We don't know. And then here's another endorsement of Matt Van Epps saying, I'm asking all American First Patriots in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District who haven't voted yet, please get out and vote on Election Day for Matt Van Epps. Now, this is an important election because with all these Republican resignations, this election in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District is huge. It could really decide the control of the House of Representatives. And the race in 2024, this identical district, Republicans won it by over 20 points. Now the race has gotten significantly closer. It's within 2 points. Matt Van Epps is leading by 2 points, according to a new poll from Emerson. The Democrat Afton Bain is at 46%. Republican Matt Van Epps is at 48%. Again, Republicans won this district by over 20 points in 2024, and this election is that close. And that's why Donald Trump is panicking, posting 2 endorsements of this Republican candidate in one day, saying here, this is the one I'm asking all American First Patriots to get out. And then another one, the one we just read, to the great people, get out and vote for Matt Van Epps. They are panicking. So if you live in this district, if you live in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District, or you know somebody that does, get out and vote for Democrat Afton Bain so we can send a message to Donald Trump, send a message to MAGA that we're not standing for their crap anymore. And if this election is genuinely within 2 points, if that's the final result, that'll be a huge message to Republicans. So get out there and vote if you're in that district. Encourage your friends, family, and loved ones to do the same. But that was just a little taste of Donald Trump's social media posting spree, demanding Democrats be arrested, calling Babe Ruth the Babe, among the many other weird things that he posted. But I'll leave the video there. I just, I think his posts are just so asinine, so crazy, and I'm always going to have fun making fun of them. So make sure to subscribe down below, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about this story. As I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.